Hey everyone, I'm here with my stack of hats to once again talk about video games. And this time it's all about the Nintendo Switch because as of this recording, Nintendo's gonna announce their next console anytime now. People are saying this week it's rumored or something, I don't know, but it's gonna be soon. So the Switch is clearly at the end of its lifespan and I have mixed feelings about that. It's been quite a ride. To say that the Nintendo Switch has had a good run would be such an understatement because, oh man, I love the Nintendo Switch so much, and I wanted to do kind of a tribute to it, and that's what this video is all about. And this video is going to be very unorganized. It's just going to be me rambling a lot, so if you want something for background noise or something, this would be perfect for that. And I have gotten a lot of Switch games over the years, so I'm not going to cover every single one that I played and was important to me, but I'm definitely going to want to highlight some stuff here. And I guess I'll start with where it all started. Going back to 2016, and I'm going to try not to bash on the Wii U too much in this video, but I will just say in 2016, it was tough to be a Nintendo fan. Those were rough times. And, but then that preview video came out for the Switch, and oh man, that was awesome. Just from the get-go, it showed exactly what the Switch was, what it could do, you know, what you do with it, handheld, tabletop, docking on the TV. And that was such a great presentation, and that got me hyped. Like, from the beginning, I was just, yeah, on board. And then it was soon after that, they had another presentation where they announced the date. And yeah, if I remember correctly, it was like once the date gets announced, then places like GameStop will take pre-orders. So I remember the next morning, I left early for work a bit, like maybe 9 o'clock. I was like, I have an appointment I have to get to. So I drove to the mall before the GameStop opened there, and there was already people lined up there, so I got in line to get a pre-order. So I got in line to get a pre-order to get in line again later on for the actual thing, but it was totally worth it, and I'm glad I did that. I made the right choice, but it's just funny to think about. So yeah, when the Switch launched, I got it day one with the Zelda Special Edition, and oh man, I had such a good time with that game. I mean, yeah, I think the majority of people got Breath of the Wild with their Switch, and I was no different there, but that game was such an experience. I loved Breath of the Wild. It, you know, was a breath of fresh air, and I played that game, you know, I used the Switch to its advantage. I played the game at home, I took it to work and played on my breaks, I took it to like Starbucks and stuff and played tabletop mode. I played like all the ways, and I loved it. The Switch delivered on that idea so well. And I know even in 2017, it used pretty outdated hardware. So for people who just played on their TVs, I'd understand if they were a bit let down by how underpowered the Switch was, but just having that as a handheld, because, you know, up to that point, the 3DS was the most powerful handheld, so going from that to the Switch, oh man, that was awesome. And yeah, Breath of the Wild was the only Switch game I had for a few months at least, and you know, that was all I needed, so it was perfect. It was kind of like the Dreamcast where I got Sonic Adventure at launch, and that was all I had for a few months, and that's all I needed. But, you know, eventually, obviously, I got other games. Got, you know, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and ARMS. I got ARMS right when it came out, and that game was awesome. I should have kind of an interesting history with ARMS, because I have this friend, he got a Switch, but he's not really a Nintendo person. He likes Mario, and he's not really into Zelda, Metroid, Smash Brothers, any of those other really series, but for some reason he loved ARMS. He got ARMS and he was really into it, and that we played ARMS together a lot. That was like our game, and it was cool. It was just, whenever I think of ARMS, I just remember playing with him. His main was Mechanica, and then my main was Min Min, which was really, I'll get into that later on with Smash Brothers, but yeah, it was just cool. And then yeah, obviously when Super Mario Odyssey came out, I also got that day one, and I love that game. Yeah, Super Mario Odyssey, that's one of my favorite Mario games, definitely, no question. I love all the worlds in that game, all the moon missions, and I know not everyone loved how it was like split into like a whole bunch of like little missions with the moons instead of like the big missions with the stars, but I like it that way because, I don't know, it opens up for more exploration, because it's like no matter where you go, you're going to find some moon mission or something to do that's going to get you some progress. Whereas like in Mario 64 and stuff, you could spend a long time just trying to get 1 star, which that has its own appeal to it. So I don't know, but I loved Super Mario Odyssey. Yeah, 2017 was an amazing year. 2018 ended up being a slower year overall, but there was one special game that made that whole year just awesome to me. And I'll get into that game later. I'm gonna kind of hold off on that because I have a lot to say about that specific game. And then I'll just move on into 2019. And for 2019, and I won't be talking about newer games right now, but that's when I got into murder mystery visual novel type games. Because early in that year, the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy came out, and I have a friend who had been telling me to play these games for years and years when they're out on the DS, and I don't know, for some reason I just never did. But for some reason, I saw it on Switch, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try these games out. And then I fell in love with the series, thought they were really cool, I loved the stories, the characters, and everything. And then, yeah, throughout that year, I got the 3DS games too, and I played through all the main games, and then, yeah, later on the spin-offs and everything, I just got really in that series. And then, yeah, also later on when it came to Switch, I also played the Danganronpa games, so, yeah, I like those types of games now. I got out of my comfort zone and experienced something new, and it worked out. And yeah, there was other stuff I played that year too, like there was Mario Tennis Aces and Astral Chain, and it's a good year, yeah. And then came 2020, and we all know what happened that year. And Animal Crossing came out at the perfect time, and I got it day one, and I got really into it because, you know, I was stuck at home. And also the boredom from being locked inside from COVID lockdowns also got me to create this channel, so some good stuff came from that, because, yeah, I'm still doing it after all these years. Anyway, yeah, Animal Crossing. It was kind of the same as New Leaf. I got really into New Leaf, and then I stopped playing after a while, and it's kind of the same New Horizons. I got really into it during, you know, complete COVID lockdowns, and then as the months went on, I moved on to other things, but it was really addicting for a while, and I liked a lot of the changes they made to it, so yeah, that was a fun game. And then 2021 was a really good year for third-party stuff, at least for me, because Neo: The World Ends With You came out, and I had been waiting like practically 15 years for a sequel to The World Ends With You. And then here it came on the Switch, and I loved it. I really loved that game. I mean, I still like the original more because nothing was going to top that, but Neo: The World Ends With You is still really, really good. It was everything I wanted from a sequel, and I thoroughly enjoyed playing through that. And then also there was the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which, I mean, technically weren't new games, but they were Japan only on the 3DS, so this was the first time it's being released worldwide, and I love those games too. And then, yeah, there's other stuff in 2021 like Metroid Dread and stuff I'm forgetting right now. Yeah, 2021 was a really good year. In 2022, there was one game that was very special to me that didn't even run as well on Switch as it did on other systems, but I didn't care, and that's Sonic Frontiers. And yeah, it's not the best looking on the Switch, but you still get that experience of just, you know, Sonic speeding through a giant open world in handheld mode on the go, and that's all I needed. I loved it. I love that game. It's janky, but I don't care. It's fun. And yeah, that game was special to me. I loved it. And in 2023, obviously the big game that year was Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and oh man, I love that game. It didn't have the wow factor of Breath of the Wild, but I don't care. That game is just amazing. They improved upon everything from Breath of the Wild. I thought the abilities were better. The story was better, I thought. The final boss was way better. I don't know. Tears of the Kingdom, like I said, doesn't have that wow factor. Doesn't have the impact of Breath of the Wild, but it was just bigger and better, and I loved it. It's one of my favorite Zelda games, no question. And yeah. And then people said they expected Switch to just die out after that release, but nope. They kept releasing stuff, you know, after Tears of the Kingdom, because later that year there was Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which I love that game. That game was really good. And then the Super Mario RPG remake, I didn't see that coming. I love that. And, you know, stuff like WarioWare Move It. It's another good WarioWare game. So yeah, the Switch was still going strong 2023 last year. And now here we are in 2024, and you know what? I'm still playing my Switch all the time. I'm still loving it. Yeah, they just released Emio the Smiling Man Famicom Detective Club, and I've been playing that, enjoying it so far. I enjoyed the other two games when those got re-released here, and yeah, like I said, I like murder mystery visual novel type stuff now, so that's been good. And then, yeah, as of this recording, in about a week or so, Zelda Echoes of Wisdom is about to come out, and I actually got to try a demo of that at PAX, and I liked it. It's fun. I still hate that art style. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna lie. I do not like that toy-like art style, but that's not gonna stop me from enjoying the game, because the game seems pretty good. So yeah, the Switch still has a bit of life left in it. Who knows for how long, but yeah, it's still going. And yeah, I'll rewind a bit and go back to that game I skipped over, and that's, of course, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Oh man, I got insanely obsessed with that game. Oh, the hype. Like, I was already all about Smash hype going back to, like, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I remember going to that Smash Bros. Dojo website daily just to see all the updates and hope a new character would get announced, because that's how characters were announced back then, just randomly on the website. Oh man, and then when Sonic was announced, holy crap, I lost it. I was so excited. I couldn't contain myself. I was so happy. I was hoping that would happen after Snake was, shown off, and oh man, the hype. That was possibly the most excited I'd ever gotten about a video game related thing. And then when Smash Wii U and 3DS came along, that's when they started doing like the hype trailers, and I was all about that. I was excited for all the new characters, and yeah, a lot of awesome new characters came. There was like Ryu and Cloud, and that was, exciting times. And I remember thinking at the time with Smash Wii U, it's like, oh man, how are they ever gonna top this? There's so many characters. And then came along Smash Ultimate, and oh man, it started with that Everyone Is Here trailer, and oh, that was so cool. That was so exciting just to see everyone's back and like no cuts. It was so nice not having any cuts. And yeah, so, all my main characters like Sonic and Diddy Kong, all of them were back. And then they just went from there and had just super exciting trailers, and all the speculation around it. Like, I was lurking on forums and watching YouTube videos about like potential leaks, and I was just eating it all up. I loved it. For anyone who followed Smash Bros. Around that time, there was one infamous leak known as the Grinch leak, because it was associated with like promotional stuff for that Grinch movie, supposedly. And that was a wild ride. Oh man, like the whole Smash community played detective to like try and find out where this came from and like track down people. It was a whole thing. That was so fun to just experience. I wasn't actually a part of it. I just saw what other people were doing it, but it was so cool to watch. And even though that ended up being fake, it was a fun ride. And I got Banjo and Kazooie anyway, so it all worked out. Yeah, Banjo and Kazooie, they were the ones I wanted the most before they were announced. And then, oh man, when they were actually revealed, I was so excited. I was working in an office at the time, and I was sitting in my cubicle watching the E3 2019 presentation. And when they were showing off, I was so excited, but I was in this cubicle surrounded by people, so I couldn't shout, but I was like holding it in. Oh man, I was shouting on the inside. That was so exciting, so hype. And then a lot of the reveals too. Like Terry, that was awesome, and Joker, and then there's Byleth, that was less awesome, and Min Min. Oh man, I was talking about ARMS earlier. When they announced that an ARMS character was coming to Smash, I just thought it would be like Springman or something, and that'd be cool. I'd be cool with that, but when they announced it was Min Min, oh man, I was so excited. I was so happy about that. I didn't think it was gonna be her, and then it was her. I was so happy. And then my ARMS main became one of my Smash mains. I love playing as Min Min in Smash. Other people don't like when I play as Min Min in Smash because he's the range, but oh man, she was an awesome addition. And then they ended on Sora, who was the most requested character. That was such a great way to end it. And oh man, I miss Smash hype. I hope the next one gets announced soon, and I know the new system has to be announced first, and I hope they're working on Smash as we speak. I really hope. But yeah, Smash Ultimate hype, that was something to experience. And I miss those days so much of just wondering who the next character is going to be. Oh man, that was the most specialist time of the Switch's life for me. And again, I know I said this with Smash Wii U, but I don't know how they're going to top it. They have close to 100 characters now, and I don't know all the ins and outs, but I can only imagine all the licensing hoops they've had to jump through to get the characters they have, and just are they gonna be able to get them all back again? I don't know. I hope so. I hope they can somehow pull off everyone is here again. We'll see. I've seen a lot of people online saying they should just do a reboot of Smash and kind of refine everyone's mechanics and how they control and movesets and stuff, and I guess there's an argument for that, but for the casual audience out there, trying to sell that as like, hey, here's a new game but with less characters, that's not going to go over well. I know character roster refreshes are kind of common for fighting games for the hardcore crowd, but Smash is different. Smash kind of caters to a wider audience, and they're not going to be happy if there's way less characters. That's just the fact, no matter how they do it. So I am curious to see where they go from here, because my ideal situation is they somehow bring everything back from Ultimate and just add upon that, which might sound boring to some people, but I don't know. I think that would be the perfect way to go. Just keep adding more and more, make it even bigger, but there's arguments to be made for both sides. But anyway, the Switch, it's amazing. It's, when all said and done, I might be able to look back and say the Switch is my favorite system, which is crazy to think about. I'm an old millennial, like I'm not far off from middle age. I thought that the 16-bit systems, Genesis and Super Nintendo, those would just always be my favorites and nothing would ever come close to topping those, because I'm an old man set in my ways and those are just the legendary systems. But Switch has just surprised me so much, and yeah, I don't know, when all said and done, I might consider calling it my favorite system, which is, I never thought I'd say that. And yeah, going from the Wii U to Switch is just, oh man, just what a glow up, holy crap. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Wii U, in case you couldn't tell, but yeah. And then when I think back on how the Switch is ending its life, it's sad to think about, but it's obviously time to move on. It's bittersweet. I'm going to miss the Switch, but I'm excited to see what the future holds. And I'm really excited to see that console reveal whenever they decide to show it off. There's already leaks out there of what the next Switch could look like, and if it's true, I'm cool with it looking like, I'll spoil it. It pretty much just looks like a Switch, a bigger, better Switch. And I think that's what they should do, so we'll see. Nintendo's Nintendo. They zig when we think they're gonna zag, so could be anything, but I'm still hoping for just Switch 2, a better Switch. But yeah, I think that about wraps up what I've wanted to talk about. I just really wanted to do some reminiscing, because the Switch has wowed me, and it's bittersweet that its life is ending, but it's been such a great ride. So I'm gonna miss you, Switch, but again, I'm looking forward to the future. Well, anyway, thank you for listening to me talk about the Switch. I hope you all have a hat-stacking good day.